Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Youmna and this is Youmsbooks. I wanted to vlog a week in my life. We are Monday and the goal for today is to get out of the house and try to find a little spot outside to read Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. It's kind of sunny, but at the same time it feels like it's going to rain later. So we'll try to leave the house quite quickly. I hope you enjoy this video and I'll see you in the next clip. As you've seen, I started picking up a new habit with my matcha. I already knew what matcha was, but to be honest, I didn't like it at first. I always tasted it in coffee shops that weren't specialized in matcha, whereas when you buy your own and do it at home, you can really choose the recipe that you want. And that's what I love about making my own drinks at home. It costs a lot less than buying it every day at a coffee shop, and also you just get a new skill and you get better at doing that. Cheers. Another habit that I picked up is try not to have any screen time at breakfast, which is actually not happening right now because I'm talking to you guys. I like to just read a book when I'm eating because it allows me to really enjoy my food and not be too stimulated by any screen. Right now my book of choice is Murtag, and I'm kind of dividing my time between Murtag and Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, which can be challenging. Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell is taking a turn which I did not expect. It is very funny. I think I just went over the 100-page mark. It's not only lyrical, as I said in my TBR. I like how the author breaks the fourth wall. It can be hit or miss. I don't necessarily like to know that I am reading a book, that the author is building a whole world, but Susanna Clarke does it really well. So it makes it very funny, that it is not as serious as you might think it is at first. But yeah, I'll start eating, stop ranting, and I'll see you in the next clip. We're back from our little trip to the library. I thought that I could share with you the little selection that I chose for my daughter. She's not 1 year old yet, so the books that I chose are very simple and mostly in cardboard, which means that they are easy to grasp and to play with. I chose books that are in French, but I will try to see if they were translated to English and find you the references. I got 2 books from Japanese authors and illustrators and 2 books from French authors and illustrators. So we'll start with the French. The first one I got is Petit Panda by Julie Lardon and Fabienne Sancan. I loved the colors of this little album. It's all in blue, white and black, and it's really wintry. I love the drawing and the art itself. The book is really pretty. It's a good size, I think. A little big next to my baby, but still quite small. The story is really touching. You follow a baby panda and his mother. It was a new in at the library, so I chose it. The next book in French that I have is Caméléon by Jean-Nas and Rougou, which is a little album that plays with colors and camouflage. It's a very simple art style, but at the same time very good for small babies because there are a lot of colors in this small album. And the last 2 books I chose are from Japanese authors and were translated to French. The first one is Sot by Tatsuhide Matsuoka, translated to jump. And it's really original because you don't read it like a traditional book like this. You open it this way around. It's all about animals jumping up and down. And I thought it was quite interactive to play with, and the story is really easy for the age of my baby. Alright, I'm surrounded by children's books, but the last one is Oh la bonne soupe by Akiko Hayashi, which is a very autumnal children's book. Look at the colors. I mean, orange and brown and green are the colors that strike you the most when you open the book. I love it. It's really touching. Kind of see the relationship between the mother and the baby. The art style is just right up my street. It's really cute and really simple drawings, but very inspiring. And tell me in the comments if this little part of the video was interesting to you. I know that I am very interested in this topic when booktubers talk about children's books, and not a lot of booktubers talk about children's books. I thought it was good for me to look back at this video and kind of see what books I chose for my baby, and also I thought they were good recommendations for you too. Okay, I'll stop ranting now and see you in my next clip. Today I went on a coffee date with a very good friend I had not seen in ages. My book of choice for the metro was Irving's short stories, and it was actually a very relaxing journey to Paris. I went to the 9th, where the Galeries Lafayette are located, and then I finally arrived at my destination, the cafe and bookstore Book Nook. Let me just say, I love the name of the cafe, and the Halloween and autumn decoration were just spot on. Coffee was good, pancakes were good, and I had an amazing time. I'm finally back from my little trip to Paris. I've had the best coffee date with my friend, and I was just so happy to walk around Paris at that time of the year. There are not too many people taking the underground, and it's just a breeze. I love autumn and I won't shut up about it. I do believe it is the best season, where I feel the most inspired and where I feel the coziest. I wanted to do a little reading update before I wrap up this vlog. As you may know, I am currently reading 3 books: Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, Murtagh, and a collection of short stories by Washington Irving. I'll start with Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I'm approaching the 200 pages mark and I'm still enjoying the novel. It's very interesting because it is a novel about magic, but magic is not really taken seriously by the narrator. On the contrary, she's actually making fun of magic and magicians. She is showing how empty and narrow magic can be, which I was not expecting at all. The narrator does make fun of Mr. Norrell. I haven't met Jonathan Strange yet, so we're still focusing on Mr. Norrell and his abilities and his relationship with other characters. We saw him practicing a few times already, and he is often making a fool of himself, which makes the character very interesting. Unfortunately, I do not feel very attached to the various characters yet. I'm excited to meet Jonathan Strange and see if that changes. Also, another aspect that I'm not really a fan of yet is that there are no female characters that are interesting at all. It's mainly focused on men. I do not know if it's going to change, but for now it is something I am missing, especially because it is written by a woman. I thought she was going to create female characters that were interesting. Still, I am very interested in the book and the story. I'm happy to be reading other books at the same time because it's not a book I can really get deep into. There are some chapters that go really fast and others that I feel a bit less strong. The descriptions are very realistic. It is also set at a time of war between France and Britain, so you do have the historical context of war, but even that is ridiculed by the narrator and made fun of. And as I said at the beginning of the week, this story is taking a turn that was quite unexpected. It is not a serious story for now, and that is both intriguing and it makes me uneasy at the same time, because I'm not sure what I'm reading. And I don't want to be spending a lot of hours reading that book, because it is a big book. It's about 800 or 900 pages, and I would like to be more invested in the story, and for now it is not the case. But yeah, that's my update on Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. The next book is The Legend of Sleepy Hollows and Other Stories by Washington Irving, which I started today. First of all, it is quite small. I mean, it's not as big as the other books. I can easily bring it with me in my bag. So this is very unexpected too. So it is a collection of short stories written by an American writer, and I chose this book because I wanted to read some horror stories. So I've read the preface and what is called the author's account of himself, where you kind of understand where this book comes from and why he decided to write this book. And it is actually a book he wrote after his travels to Europe. Washington Irving is an author of the 19th century. The book was published in the 1850s, and we see in the preface that he really wanted to publish it in the United Kingdom, despite the fact that he is American. He wanted to touch a British and European audience. Regarding the stories themselves, for now, I've read 4 stories and they are not horror stories at all. The stories are linked to one another. They are linked by the fact that they are part of a voyage that the narrator is taking. He travels from America to England, and his ship arrives in Liverpool at the beginning of the collection of stories. You read his impressions of the United Kingdom, of how different British people are from Americans, how Americans have lessons to learn from the British, specifically regarding the arts and poetry and literature. The narrator does have a very big admiration of how Europe is and how rich Europe's history and literature is. I'm not sure what to really make of it. I really like his writing style for now, and I feel like the book was well edited, and I'm excited to continue reading it. Hopefully there will be some horror soon, because for now it doesn't really answer my wish of reading horror short stories. But yeah, moving on to the last book I'm reading, Murtagh. I don't have too much to say apart from the fact that I am enjoying it. I was really excited to read Murtagh because I loved reading Aragon, and the only negative thing I could say about this is that it's too similar to Aragon. I was hoping that the storytelling would be a bit different. Christopher Paolini wrote it about 20 years after he wrote Aragon, and he actually was 15 or 16 years old the first time he wrote Aragon. So I was hoping that his writing style matured a little bit, but I do not see that for now. I'm really happy to read about Murtagh again and his dragon Thorn. The relationship between him and his dragon in the Aragon series was already interesting, but now you really go deep into that. Thorn is a dragon that is completely different to Saphira in Aragon, and I love him for that. And unlike Thorn, compared to Saphira, I feel like Murtagh is just another version of Aragon, which is just a shame because it's a character that has so many levels of comprehension. He's supposed to be the bad guy who tries to fight his demons. Again, just like Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, I'm excited to continue reading the book, but I'm a bit disappointed at the same time. I do hope it's going to change and that I won't be disappointed at the end. So that's it for my reading update. I think I'll end this vlog right now. I hope you enjoyed watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe and comment. I really love reading your comments, so don't forget to tell me what you thought about the vlog and what you want to see next on my channel. So yeah, bye!